Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time reviewing on issue 16 of Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, as you know, I have been trying to keep up with my reviews for the Sonic the Hedgehog IDW run, and basically, now that I've got issue 2, I've now been able to keep up with the series to do the reviews. And as you know, Sonic the Hedgehog has now been given to IDW, after the rights of Archie Comics were passed over to them. And the cover mainly has a more game version of Sonic from the whole PS4 era. And it picks up after the last issue with the start of the Metal Virus. And we see mainly at Tails' workshop how Tangle shows up to see Sonic and Tails. And her saying, "I have questions." "Yo, Tangles, I'll be with you in a sec. Hi." So, of course, like you can tell, Tails is a little busy, but still tries to keep up. And we see how Tangle tries to mention, like, wants to try what he's doing, and you can tell Sonic says, "Sure, I don't think I can infect metal stuff." "You definitely can't. I tested for that. Looks like you're clear." And turns out that the metal virus that affected Sonic is gone. And you can kind of tell Tails does have a bit of doubt, and knows that even though it's in remission, this could be something bad. So of course, Sonic has to keep Tangled up to speed, as well as the reader, by saying how Eggman lost his memory and became Mr. Tinker, but Dr. Sterline brought him back. And of course, Sonic even mentions about that Eggman developed some gunk that created Rough and Tumble into metal zombies, and how Sonic might be infected, but thinks he might be killed. So of course we see mainly Sonic saying, "That's one of the things Tails and I were trying to test it. It was kind of close, but it looks like I beat it." And of course we see how Sonic and Tails mentions about Eggman's potential attacks, and basically they need to be prepared. But we see how Tangle mentions one of her previous adventures that happened during the annual run of the 2019 one. So we see how Dr. Sterline and Eggman head off to the sort of like battleship, and how Eggman mentions how he's always easy to rebuild things, and him saying, "But soon that will be a concern of the first Orbot launch. Into getting launch sequence now, boss. Up, and away." And we see how his flying fortress is a giant face on it. And of course, we see how Dr. Starline says, "I'd love one, sir." "Very well. First, I'll show you. Notice I'm keeping your little gift of the Chaos Emeralds at hand," and mentions how it's powering the ship, and how he's got the first plan of attack. And even mentioning about the metal liquid he's created, which is a trade secret, but he knows what the first place he's going to attack, and basically sets sight on the village that basically looked after him. And we see how the villagers look on, and see Eggman saying, like, to prepare for their generosity, and Eggman saying, "No good deed goes unpunished." And of course releases the metal liquid into the town, which infects the village elder, and we kind of see how everyone becomes more like a metal zombie, and everyone ends up getting affected. And this is the point where you can tell Eggman's definitely crossed the line that he's not going to come back from. And even Dr. Sterline's impressed, saying, "It's over! Just like that! It's done!" Penny for your thoughts, Doctor. "I'd never should have doubted your second guess. That was extremely transparent." And so, pretty much, you can tell Dr. Sterline is amazed by Eggman's work, and basically him saying that you should never meet your heroes, but has proved him wrong. And we see how Eggman says to the army to go in and spread the virus. And it's kind of clear that it's something quite dangerous. And we see how Tangle mentions about the story that she told, and see Sonic and Tails basically needing the help they can, and taking down Eggman before the virus hits. But we see how the virus slowly returns on Sonic, and has to back away from Tangle so she doesn't get affected. So they realise that Sonic can basically use speed to put the virus in re-emission. But just as Tails tries to warn him, he leaves. And we see how Sonic's worried about this getting worse, and even remembers the time when he became a werehog during that whole werehog storyline in the sort of games, but knows that he's dealt with it before, and heads off to say, yeah, totally sure. And we see the next day how a little bird ended up being contaminated by the virus, and it heading into the city, which is obviously going to come with repercussions. And this is the story. So issue 16 of Sonic the Hedgehog is pretty awesome. I think it gives you this taste that Eggman is going to cross the line way beyond now, and you can kind of tell Sonic's condition raises a lot of stakes, as he's kind of the ace card in the team. And I think this Metal Virus does give an interesting story, so I think it deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still right. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.